What up? It's your boy Aydian here. I'm not gonna act like I'm making a whole new video because it's literally, I just turned off the camera and turned it back on. This is part 2 of top surgery questions. Let's just jump right into this. So I want to really get some of the questions that were asked repetitively, and one of them is about sensation in my chest. I'm literally, like I said, about 5 years, this July, I'll be 5 years post-op, and I have full sensation in my chest. I will say along my scars, along the actual scars, it feels dull. From like here feels dull, from here to here it feels kind of dull. My nipple has sensation, but the best way for me to explain the sensation I have in my nipples, it's not any type of sexual sensation. It literally feels like if you put your hand on your chest and then you rubbed here, you can kind of like feel it on this side of your chest. You can feel the motion, but you can't actually really feel it on your chest. That's kind of how it feels on my nipples. It's like, I can feel it, but I can't exactly feel it. And that makes a lot of sense because this will be a lot more detailed in another video. Your nipples are just grafts. So they take your nipples off, they cut them to size, and then they sew them right back on. So my nipple is on top of this skin. You took this nipple off, there would just be flat, nothing there, it'd just be skin. So it makes sense that that's where I have the sensation. I will say that it took me 3 years to feel anything over here and here. I still have a funny sensation along on this side, along right here between the nipple and the actual scar. So the scar has a weird sensation. It's definitely not, I feel it, like I can feel it, but it's not like, it doesn't feel like this. It feels different than rubbing here than it does rubbing here. So it's hard to explain, but I do feel it all. I feel it, yeah. Does it hurt getting the drain tubes pulled out after surgery? One of the main reasons I don't want top surgery. So first off, you shouldn't let one little fear be the main reason you won't get top surgery at all if it's something you really, really want, but you're scared of this one little thing. I'll have a video about anesthesia. I'll have a video about anesthesiology. I have a video about when they put you the fuck down, okay, and you get knocked out. That was my biggest fear ever, and I almost like put off my top surgery because I was just so scared. But I'll get more into that, guys. Don't let a little fear prevent you from living your dream, okay? I thought this was a really good question. This person's getting top surgery tomorrow. Good luck. Probably means it's today. How did you deal with your hopes and expectations for surgery versus reality? Did you struggle at all with disappointment? Disappointment or depression afterwards? And if so, how did you manage that? Much love, man, Elliot. So I'm gonna have another video all about the post-depression that not a lot, but some people experience. I personally, I mean, top surgery was the best thing that ever happened to me, in all honesty. Like, I started training a solid 2.5 years before I was able to get top surgery, so that I could get top surgery. I really started working out for like 3 main reasons. First reason was because if I was gonna be trans and somebody wanted to fuck with me, I wanted to feel like I could protect myself. Second reason was because I looked feminine in my eyes and I wanted my outside to match more to my masculine inside. Third reason, I knew I was okay, so I'm not gonna say I started knowing I was gonna get top surgery because that would be just a lie, but I would say when I moved to Florida, which was about 1 year post starting T, so for a year and 3/4 of a year, I started strictly like really working out my chest hard because I knew I was gonna get top surgery and I wanted it to look like muscular already. So I'm just like going over this. A lot of people ask about scars. I'm gonna be making like multiple in-depth videos about scars, so don't worry, that's on its way. Somebody also asks, like, do the scars ever disappear? So that can go back to my second top surgery tips video, and that is going to depend on the person. Some people's scars are very red, and some people's you can't see anything. So it really just depends on the body and how you go about taking care of your scars, stretching, massaging, scar care, and post-treatment is going to really matter what kind of, if they look good or not, and honestly genetics too. some people keloid, and that's just how it goes, you know, and some people don't. So just keep that in mind too. Genetics, your body, how you respond to surgeries. If you've ever had a surgery in the past and you have a scar from there, you can kind of look at that scar and use it as a reference. I have a funny scar, but I'll use it as a reference. I have this little guy, I've been calling him Mr. Willie for the longest time. Can you see him right there? And if you look at that scar, it actually kind of resembles how my scars look now. They're fairly, you know, the whitest part of my scar, which I guess would be here, looks very similar to this little scar. But you can tell, I mean, my scars, they still have pink in them. You know, you can't, you know, you cannot see them sometimes, but then other times you can really see them. So it really just depends. And I swear, like, it depends on the day too, because I swear sometimes I feel like you can't see my scars at all, and then some days I'm like, wow, you can really see my scars today. So alright, so 2 more questions before we end this part 2. And the first question, I really like this one. It's, how do you deal with anxiety and dysphoria during your top surgery consultations? So I thought that was a good question, and I remember I had a lot of dysphoria during my top surgery consultation, but I think what I did was, first of all, your doctor should know that it should only be you and the doctor in the room when you take your shirt off, and they do that part. My doctor had the nurse turn around during that part and asked if I wanted my partner to be there or not. They, you know, my Dr. Garamoni was like, do you want your partner to be here for this part? And I said, sure. And he said, you know, I can have my nurse leave the room, or she could just, you know, turn around during this quick part. And I was just like, oh, just have her turn around, right? Because I was like trying to be cool, like, oh, I'm cool, right? Just have her turn around, I'm comfortable. Even though I wasn't. I was kind of faking it till you make it there. So I was very uncomfortable. He was very quick with it, honestly. Like, I put this shirt on, we opened up the vest thing, and he put some, like, a line down my middle, he put some lines around here. He told me about if he thought my scar was gonna have to connect in the middle, how far my scar might have to go back. I asked him if he could start here and go here, and he said he couldn't. It was very uncomfortable, but if your doctor should try to make you feel comfortable during that time, because they should know that it's very uncomfortable for you. So just remember that, like, you're there to get them removed. So as much dysphoria as you might have, just remember that they're not gonna be there soon. And the glory, and sit in that glory, and let the doctor just, you know, make their marks and move on. And so another question that was asked a lot is, I guess this is kind of the asked a lot question part of the videos. How did you deal with people who looked at or questioned your scars? So I never, not one time in all the times that I've walked around shirtless, whether it was at a Pride event, not at a Pride event, whether people knew I was trans, people didn't know I was trans, I've never one time got asked what my scars are for. Never once. I have experienced people looking at me at the beach, at the pool, you know, when I'm just not wearing a shirt, right? But it's really hard to know if someone's looking at my scars, if they're just looking at me, if they're just looking around. Because think about it, like, when you go to the beach or the pool or whatever, don't you look at other people? Right? Like, maybe if you're single, maybe you're checking people out. Maybe if you're not single, you're just like, you know, you're just like watching people. I mean, I think people watching is what a lot of people do, right? Why do we want to sit, you know, outside when we go out to dinner? Because you want to sit out in the sun and you want to watch people and you want to watch what's going on. So people look at each other all the time. I think that it's my insecurities that make me think that they're looking at my scars specifically. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not looking at my scars, but it doesn't mean that they are looking at my scars. So I just think those are things you should remember. Like, are they looking at me? Are they looking at my scars? Maybe they're checking you out in a good way. Okay, so I want to get the most out of this video, so I'm going to answer just a few more. I liked this other one. Somebody asked me, they had top surgery and they're still experiencing pain. It's been like a year post-op. I experienced pain literally, like I was saying, there was like, I think between the 3rd and 4th year of post-op is when things really came together for me. I felt like my scars really had faded well. I feel like I had a lot more sensation in my entire chest area. I felt like my movement, I mean, and guys, 3 years post-op, I feel like my movement, like I could stretch everything all the way back, right? Like all the way. I think prior to 3 to 4 years post-op, I would get like weird pains. And honestly, I can remember just a few months ago getting a weird shock, like an electric shock pain here. And so I did experience some pain more towards right here. See where that pectoral muscle comes here? Joins into your shoulder. I really think this is where a lot of the stretching occurs on people, and it's because that's what moves around. Anytime you're moving your arm, I mean, that's the skin that's moving, you know what I mean? And so I have experienced for multiple years some pain, some sharp pain along my scar line. But I will say that I think since moving to Oregon, I've lived here about 3 years now, I have had some pain since living here, but none that I can really remember within the last like 12 months. So it'll be 5 years this July. So yeah, I would say after between 3 and 4 years, a lot of things seem to come together post-op. Okay, so very last question of this Q&A part 2 is how best can I get my body like ready for surgery? And there's a few things you should think about. Do you drink a lot of alcohol? You should probably stop drinking completely 2 to 4 weeks before surgery. Do you smoke cigarettes? This is gonna be another one of my videos all about nipples. That's gonna be a funny one. Smoking cigarettes, you're like 80% chance of losing your nipple. And something about the chemicals in cigarettes really don't bode well for you when you're in post-op recovery care and your skin, your nipple is trying to reattach to the skin underneath it. I'm gonna find out more science about it before I make the video, but I know for a fact that it's all over every top surgery place anywhere. They're talking about stop smoking cigarettes before your surgery. Also, I think another thing you should consider is in the 2 to 4 weeks before, you know, are you eating whole foods? What's your diet like? Do you eat a lot of crappy food that doesn't have a lot of nutrients and micronutrients to them? You should probably start incorporating some of those. Start eating a damn salad every now and then, okay? And this isn't for weight loss. This is strictly for holistic body health, okay? Feeding your body some highly nutrient dense food so that it will be in tip-top shape for your post-op care. So if you don't take a multivitamin, go grab a multivitamin, go grab some vitamin D, some fish oil. These are all things that are gonna help your heart, help your blood, help you just feel, and you know, not even just feel better, but your body actually should really work better. And when you're at tip-top shape, you can imagine that if you have a cut or if you get a surgery, you're gonna heal a lot better. So that's something to really consider. Also, if you are kind of trying to lose some weight before top surgery, that's another great thing. If you are slightly overweight, a little bit unhealthy, then you could try to reel in that health, lose a little bit of body fat. You don't have to be super skinny. I'm just saying, like, your heart is gonna be under a lot of pressure. So if you can lose a little bit of weight and put some less pressure off your heart now, then when you go to surgery, your heart will be able to withstand a little bit more. So keep that in mind. Also, some doctors for extremely obese people, they won't even serve you because it's just a health risk. Keep that in mind. It might be a really great reason to kickstart your healthy eating and get back on a better relationship with your body and with food. So definitely those are some tips to kind of get your body prepped for surgery. All right, there you have it. Those are your cues with my A's. I hope you appreciated it. Please like this video. If you missed part 1, go back from yesterday, click on that video, hit the like button, drop a comment below, share some knowledge. Also, I'll be having more and more top surgery tip videos that go way more in depth than just a super quick Q&A, so you can check out those videos in the future. Until then, thanks for all the questions, guys. I really appreciated it. Over like 115 comments just on Instagram alone, probably over 225 all together, which is so awesome. Thank you so much for that. You guys make these videos possible. So if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want more top surgery tips, hit the subscribe button. And also, if you think that somebody in your life could benefit from this video, share it amongst your friends. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for all the love. Peace.